Hit the button, man.
Live.
I think, yeah, we're live.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay.
Are we live? Are we
We're
live?
live. Let's try to fuck this up and make it as weird as possible. Hey, I want to give a shout out to everybody watching this live, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. RDX podcast, Real Deal Xbox podcast. You know what? Thank you guys for joining us live. Everyone in the chat, hit the like button, share us out as we get started. We got a ton of great topics. We got a really cool guest today. And obviously, you guys make us what we are. Thanks again. We're going to do some introductions. We got some shout outs. And again, topics today are sure to get some good reactions and have some fun with these. Hey, D-Batch, how you been, buddy? How are you?
Man, I'm over the moon with all the information that I'm going through in my spare time, man. I gotta say, yesterday's reveal at Hot Chips for the Xbox Series X it's got the community hyped. Can't wait to dig into some of the details on today's show. Yeah, I'm in a good mood. Let's go.
Very good. Fonzarelli, how are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm in a great mood. So yeah, let's talk Xbox, gaming, all that good stuff.
Hey, Tim Dog, how are you?
I'm in a pretty shitty mood. All I have to
Oh.
do is work, and I'm on my phone again.
You're
So
on
if people are gonna complain. It's because my job forces me to work.
Hey, you know what? It's worth having Tim Dog around. Do appreciate it, brother. Zalker, how you been?
I'm doing good. I'm a fraud apparently because
Yeah.
I put out a video that got debunked like 3 days ago. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Fire.
What are you
Fire.
gonna do?
Yeah,
Nano-
I've had one of those before. It happens.
Yeah, it's great.
Did you leave that one up, though?
Oh, I'm gonna leave it up because I love the hate.
All right.
It makes me clean out that wagon. It's great.
About time we got this man some haters. Hey, Nano Polymath, by the way, real quick, he says, feels great to be here tonight. He says, a week is too long. Missed you all, the panel and the mods, everybody associated. Do appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much. And we've also got a special guest in Miles from Windows Central. Buddy, thank you for joining us on this blessed Tuesday.
Oh, it is a blessed Tuesday indeed. Thanks for having me on. Pretty stoked to chat some Xbox stuff with you guys. And yeah.
What about
let's
some
get into
PlayStation
it.
stuff?
Yeah, of course, gamers. We got to keep it fair.
Of course. Always. RDNA 1. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh!
1.5.
I'm kidding. I want to get a little rise from the chat. Chat, let us know how what kind of day you having. All right, we're trying to come back, do it big once a week. We do it once a week because you know what? More isn't always better. I think every week we come back a little bit, maybe a little bit different. Fuck, maybe I'm just lying. So let me do a shout out real quick to my verbal shout out to your patron, all the guys that support me on Patreon, everybody, the wheel, the scroll at the top. You're up there. I do appreciate it, guys. Shout out to Wakanda XNT, All Might, Goose 8402, DT Baggins. Again, you know what your first name is. Straw Hat Khalifa, Bad Boy Live, Assassin Lupa, Alec Gamer 4, Frost did that shit, Tony Stark, RDX Foreign Object, Gab Quiz, Teo, John Blue, Vec Boss, shout out to John, Vec Boss, Deviator X, Real Deal, Neil, Suicide King, Tastes Genie, Michael Bowen, Guillermo Cavillo, and A Squad Gaming. Do appreciate it, brother. And this week, we've got if you watched the show last week, giveaway went up after the show last Tuesday, announcing it this show. And basically, a comment on the post that says games, and you basically get a game of your choice if you win. And this week it goes to, this month it goes to Gentle Monster Jones. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Saints Row the Remastered is what he wanted. Your wish is my command, sir. Thank you for everything you do. And, everyone else on Patreon, do appreciate it. Again, let's get into some topics, chat. What do you say? Flight Simulator, real quick. We'll open with this one. I let some people file in. Flight Simulator reviews are in, and they're pretty damn good, Tim Dog. What is this game, like a 93 now in the meta? I mean, shout out to everybody who don't give a fuck about Metascore until Xbox finally gets a really good Metascore rating. But ain't that the case, though? And that's
Gotta
kind of
turn a
annoying.
blind eye.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It really is.
it is annoying to see that.
Well, if it got a 72, I'm sure we would hear a lot of jokes about it. So you can't have it both ways. I thought it would be. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a hit, but I'm looking forward to it. I've said that it's one of the games that I've been looking forward to. I played it as a kid with my brother, and I might play it on easy when it comes to the console, but the graphics and everything look amazing, and I'm looking forward to it. And really big pickup for Asobo to do that. They're really solidifying themselves as a really good developer, and this game's reading the reviews, it's pretty impressive. So just a kind of a shot in the arm for Xbox. I don't think anybody expected it to do that good, and I, for one, I'm very happy and looking forward to it when it hits the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, and I think Microsoft needs to start kind of letting us know when that's maybe the window for that. The things that we can look forward to this year, maybe early next year. I think they should start telling people what they can kind of expect. But by the way, A Squad, he says, hey, everyone, can't wait to hear the topics. Do appreciate it, brother. Got to get you back on soon. Snake Eyes, shout out to you, brother. And by the way, Colt will be back next week. He had a family thing today. And so he'll definitely be back next week. He says hi, sends his regards. Game Bread too, shout out to him. He says, always hype for RDX. I love the show. Do appreciate it, brother. And we've also got Daddy 91801. Keep news coming. Yeah. Zucker, you had a little tone in your voice there. But yeah, shout out to you, buddy. And
not a little tone.
And shout out to James, who says, when we see a release date and a price. We're going to get into all that stuff, the latest rumors on all that stuff, everything you guys want to hear about, because we're in tune with what you're thinking. Also, shout out to this is my last fucking shout out, I promise, at least for 5 to 10 minutes. 1,300 people already watching, guys. Hit the like button, share us out. We do appreciate it. Let's try to crack 1,000 likes plus for the end of the show. Yes, Salker?
Let me say something about Flight Sim real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So my cousin is actually like really into it. Like he built like a massive PC, and he has like this like basically like a cockpit built at like his house for Flight Sim. Like he's been waiting for this for years. So I'm gonna try to get over there and like take pictures of it. But it's like apparently insane. Like I've had people go there and they're like, it's like you're flying an actual plane, and like Microsoft and Asobo or whatever have like really tuned it to be like a full on simulator. So this game, like I don't know, man. Like I didn't even know my cousin played video games, but like apparently he plays this one.
Yeah.
So like this thing is really big, and like I don't know if you guys saw also like the big storm that's happening, like a hurricane. People are actually flying there to see it in like the game because it simulates the weather.
That's
real
crazy.
time.
Like real time. Like it's freaking insane.
That's some
dude.
Skynet shit.
Yeah,
Well,
so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, Sobo killed it, man.
Before we got on the show, I was telling you guys how I fired it up. So it looks, first of all, it looks fantastic, but it cripples your PC. Like, good luck getting that running at 4K 60, man. I'm gonna have to wait till the new cards come out in order to run it that resolution. But 1440p 60, it looks fantastic, man. With ultra settings, it really is a next generation game, and I'm really happy that Microsoft finally got a high Metascore. I think I just watched IGN; they gave it like a 10, like a perfect score, masterpiece score.
Yeah, I saw that actually. I said, this motherfucker really likes flying around. Masterpiece.
Speaking of this whole, Microsoft got it right, and this game is looking impressive. Where is like some, marketing towards the Series X with this game? Why aren't they like showcasing this, like this graphically intensive game that would definitely showcase a next gen powerhouse type of game? Why not show it?
Fonz, can you stop being an Xbot? Can you stop being an Xbot, please? like God. Get a PC.
No, I mean, seriously, at the end of the day, where is like, I mean, you've got a game that can showcase what a next gen title should look like. Why not use it? That's like common sense.
Those are some nice looking clouds.
Maybe they
will. I think it's going to be a longer play. I think the reason we haven't seen a lot of it running on the Xbox Series X yet is because it's not ready to run on the Xbox Series X yet.
Damn, Miles, it's been half a decade play already. Shit, how long is this play?
Yeah. What's this long play? Yeah.
Ideally, a launch window title would be great, but I would not be surprised to see it next year, unfortunately. And that's probably that's honestly the main reason we have not seen it running on the console.
Oh my God, Darsh Nice says, have a great show, guys. And remember, a simulator isn't a game, apparently. Oh, yeah, I saw somebody giving Code some shit for that. That is funny, yeah. I would have just said, what is Gran Turismo then? It says driving simulator in the title. Of course it's a game. So, hey, I guess if Candy Crush is a game, that's sure as fuck is a game to me. I have fun flying around and looking at some shit and maybe going to the hurricane and running into it and nothing. Can you even crash in this game? Can you crash?
Yeah, you can crash.
I'm not talking about your PC. Like, can you crash the plane?
Yeah. Yes, it's nothing spectacular, but I've seen it. It's
come on.
Well, one of the stories I'd like to tell, it's a true story. When Xbox showed this off in 2018 at E3, they saw the visuals and they said, holy shit, we have to put a disclaimer here. saying that it's basically, or making sure that it's footage from the game, because people would look at that and say that's real life photography and not a video game. So from the start, this has really been praised. And I talked to some people, and they weren't surprised that it did so well. This was a game that supposedly they were very high on. And one of the things that Zorka talks about, a lot of people, gamers, casuals, my brother's a prime example. He asked me about this game. He's like, what's up with that game? Because it just appeals to a lot of a diverse crowd. Some people who don't really game, possibly, but because I could see them being into this, because it's flying a plane. Just even to learn how to fly a plane, it could get pretty in depth from what I heard. And I'm just happy that it succeeded.
They have those controls that kind of like Forza, the damn thing will drive itself, or you can go full on, hey, no assist whatsoever. By the way, Sean Murray, yeah, we're going to be talking about the hot chip stuff, man. That's going to be very interesting. Dark CMF, shout out to you, buddy. He says, damn it, now I feel bad for calling Colt a fraud already tonight. I hope all is well with him and his family. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. He gets it. He gets it. That's kind of the aura around the community. We like to joke with each other, but I mean, again, Flight Simulator, not on Xbox. We already made jokes about how, well, we can all go fuck ourselves if we're console only last week, which sucks. But I am glad that it's doing well. Again, we've always talked about meta. It does matter. It doesn't mean that you can't like a game. Like I like Crackdown. I had fun with Crackdown. I had fun with Days Gone. But I also want a little bit of hype to be generated. And if Flight Simulator came out at, like Tim said, a 73, there would be a different aura around, what's going on right now, I feel like. Right? So, Miles, have you gotten a chance to mess with this anyway with the game, or gotten to see it?
I downloaded it earlier today, the massive 100 and some gigs. I haven't had a chance to dive in and check it out yet, but yeah, I'm very interested. It's got some online
Download Simulator.
Exactly, yeah. Put that bandwidth to the test.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the real question I have is this the first W for Xbox's cloud gaming program? Because, Crackdown 3 got, trolled pretty hard when it was touting the power of the cloud. But
how dare you?
It seems like Flight Simulator is the first game to come out and actually successfully take advantage of it and successfully push some graphics.
I would say that it did. I would say this is a success, but only because cloud is like 10% being leveraged here. It's like in the background. It's kind of helping in the distance, right? Basically, from what I can gather and from the map system. Whereas Crackdown was more of a destruction, physics-based, very important, based on latency kind of cloud-powered stuff. It's kind of a tall order,
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is impressive. I think after 10 hours of gameplay, and trust me, we're getting off Airplane Simulator here in a minute. But after 10 hours of gameplay, I think they said it uses about 7 gigs on your connection. So that's about what you can expect from the demands of the cloud there. But, I don't know. It's Flight Simulator. Wow. Say what?
That's a lot, to be honest.
You sound like your headset's in the floor right now, Tim.
Is it better now?
No,
I don't.
It's not.
Basically, yeah.
You sound like Crackdown 3 in the cloud.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's impressive, it's cool, it looks great, but at the end of the day, it's not on the console, so it's really hard for me to really care about talking a lot about it. By the way, I'm going to give Battletoads impressions. I've been playing that for a couple days at the end of the show, and Microsoft did send a few trash, even though Fonz hasn't played it. Even though Microsoft sent a few of us care packages, if you saw on Twitter, and we got some stuff in there. Pretty interesting, but yeah, Battletoads is Battletoads. I'll get into that at the end of the show for those that are asking. Flight Simulator, not too much to it, and it is literally killing my show right now. So we're going to move forward. Remedy locked off next generation support for Control. I want to explain this, and then I'm going to throw it to Fonz, and then we're gonna have a little fun with this one. It's kind of funny. 505 Games said, Activision EA, fuck them. You got to pay us for this Ultimate Edition of Control. Again, that's less than a year old. Doesn't matter if you bought the full version for $60 and then the season pass for who knows how much money. Take those, combine them, shove them up your ass, because none of it matters. You have to rebuy the Ultimate Edition of the game to get the PS5 and Series X supports. There is no upgrade path. yeah, fuck you. And I'm really surprised that Remedy and 505 Games have decided to do something this fucking astronomically stupid and anti-consumer, and not even allow you, even if they wanted to just be fuckboys and charge you $5 for a patch, you can't even do that. You got to buy the $40 new Ultimate Edition of the game, which has the upgrade to it. I don't understand this. I mean, guys, if you're watching, really think about this. If you bought everything day one, they're teaching you not to support their shit day one for one. You know, so I mean, Fonz, if you looked into this at all, this is the opposite of what we think should be happening.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've had some opinions out there on this, both on Twitter and on a podcast out there. Yeah, a lot of people seem to throw around the word anti-consumer a lot lately. This right here is completely anti-consumer, and it just, I mean, I want to call it anti something else and use some words that I don't really want to use, but I just look, why would you try? I understand you're a business and you're trying to make money, but this is not the way. You are going about this the wrong way. You are just basically just stealing more money from people. Like, you're scamming more money from people, all into, I mean, just for getting, if they want some next generation graphics, okay, this is x86 architecture to x86 architecture. What are they really doing here to really give you that next gen, step up with the next gen consoles? Dealer, like, what do they have to do for that?
I mean, look, it doesn't even matter. Like, when I upgrade my graphics card, I get all those extra features I can use for no other cost.
So what I'm saying is, like, they don't really have to, because a lot of people were using the excuse, well, they have to put in a lot of time and effort to make these next gen graphics and stuff. And I'm like, this is the same architecture.
They're turning on features that already exist from the PC version.
Yeah, it's already there. So, like, what are you defending here? You're defending an anti-consumer practice. You're defending these people that are just doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Like, most other companies out there have already announced a smart feature, or whatever they call that smart
delivery. Yeah,
smart delivery feature. And they've been saying that, hey, they're going to give us next gen graphics free of charge, because it's not really costing them anything to really do. So what are we doing here, 505 Games? What are we doing here, Remedy? I'm not a big fan of Remedy anyway, and this surely doesn't put them in a good light for me at all. Like, I never want to touch another Remedy game again, like, because this is really pissing me off. Like, this makes me mad. This, honestly, this kind of practice, I hate microtransactions. This is on a whole level, another level of fuckery. I just can't deal with it. Yeah. Anybody out there who is willing to pay this money to get those next gen features, you're an idiot.
Well,
you're an idiot. I'm just gonna say it. They have basically
Fonz turned it from going at Remedy to just the people. Fuck y'all.
Oh, no. If that is your sole intention, is to get those next gen graphics, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. It's just stupid.
Fonz, I gotta say right now, they're really, really milking this, and I know why. It's for the simple reason that it has ray tracing. And because these next generation consoles look like they're gonna handle ray tracing well, they think that these gamers are just gonna double dip into their game. And I agree with you. I think it's really anti-consumer. And to be honest with you, Control, it's okay, but it's not that good that I actually want to double dip into it in the first place. So they should do as a goodwill gesture, they should make that a free upgradable path for that game. It makes no sense. I agree with you. I don't know what they're doing here. I'm really disappointed in them.
It is weird. It's
really weird. It really sucks for Remedy, honestly, because a lot of people are going to blame Remedy for the situation, but they're really at the mercy of the publisher. I'm sure Remedy does not want to tell their hardcore fans, the people who bought the game day one, hey, you want these upgrades? You got to pay more money. I guarantee no one at Remedy wants to make that statement. And
who's the publisher?
505. So 505 is the one saying, hey, we didn't sell enough copies. We need to make this up on the back end by selling these upgrades.
Wow.
Is there a lot of backlash? Has there been a lot of backlash that they're hearing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, it's a possibility. And again, like, we don't know what's what for certain, but that's why I suggest everyone tag both of them in their tweet. Fuck it. Tag Remedy and 505 politely. Don't attack them. Politely ask them not to do this, right? It's not it's not good for anybody. And again, your voice can make a difference. We've seen it over and over and over in the industry. Again, if you attack them, it's counterproductive.
It's just weird to see it in a game like Control that wasn't really well received. And then, like, because if you see it for like Grand Theft Auto, you're kind of like, well, things sold like 85 gajillion copies. Like, all right, they're kind of getting greedy, but people are going to buy it. But for this one, it just seems weird. Like, what are you doing? Like, Control wasn't well received. The game got like, a lot of hate, and then you're going to charge more for an upgrade instead of like being like, hey, if you get the game now or on a sale, you could take it with you, kind of like to get more copies. But it's just
like I would have bought the season pass if the upgrade just came like it should with the hardware, right?
Exactly. Like, if you think something's good for gamers will support you. That's like been shown throughout history.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something that gamers will support unless, like Fawn said, to be honest, if you're an idiot. So yeah, it's just weird, man. I don't know. I don't like it. So 505 Remedy, get your head out of your asses.
Imagine Zucker on PC, if you got a new graphics card, you put that bitch in, like, oh shit, you got a 3080 Ti. Well, that's that's more money. You can unlock these settings for your card.
Yeah,
you want Ultra? That's $20, baby.
Yeah. Turn on Skyrim for a mere $60. You can take full advantage of your hard. Like what?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Screw that.
You think they would know that stuff powers it just powers goodwill from the fans. Like I said, I would have bought their season pass if it's free. I would have actually invested more in their software to utilize those upgrades and had more fun doing it, and said, wow, that was cool. I'm glad I came back to Control and gave it another shot with this DLC. I enjoyed it more on this new, better hardware because the game's better overall now, and I might check out what they're doing next. But I don't know. It's really counterproductive to everything that I think they should be worried about. KY Bob, by the way, says, I've seen some players flying around together in Flight Simulator on YouTube. Is this game have multiplayer?
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah, there's online co-op.
Yeah, there's online, and like people do like races or like chasing, like tag in the air with like little planes and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw some videos of that. It's pretty cool.
I have seen nothing about the multiplayer, so yeah, KY, apparently that's the thing. Friendly Neighborhood Blue Shell, by the way, he says, dealer, what is the possible damage control for Control? I don't think there is any possible damage control, honestly. I mean, Miles had
like I said, the
most.
The only one that I heard was the fact that they were saying that they have to spend time making these upgrades, so we need to pay them for it. That was the one thing I've seen from several people.
Yeah, I mean that's just people not understanding how machine languages work and how everything's the same this time around. They're bringing ray tracing and everything else that already exists from PC and turning it on. It's basically what they're doing. But yeah, I mean, you can basically think about it this way. PC gamers can turn their game onto a version that's worse than the one on any console right now by setting everything to low at fucking 720p, right? Or you can go the full on what you're going to get on your Series X by turning everything to, higher or ultra or ray tracing, whatever resolution it works at. It's literally, you're not charging yourself when you turn that fucking setting on. So again, there's a little bit of work here, but you got to remember that with the Xbox One X, people ported games, they said in one afternoon with one or two people. Yeah. So they've made it that simple going forward with these development kits, and with x86, it's like you're developing for another Xbox, but just so much more capable, which makes it easier. So yeah, I don't really know.
Quantum Break
worth
was
another
done.
40.
Yeah, Quantum Break was done, but Quantum Break was done, and that Remedy too, by one guy.
Yeah. Remedy bragged about how one guy on his lunch break would just go and update Quantum Break for the Xbox Series X or the Xbox One.
They're eating a ham sandwich.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys. When you talk about how there's all this stuff involved, you gotta understand, like, we're not just saying this stuff for no reason, right? So one guy did it for Quantum Break, and this is way more capable hardware.
And they have to understand, too, that, I know a lot of people that like certain games. They might cap for that game and say, well, you know what, defend it because they really love the game. But you got to understand, you got to pull yourself out of that, and look at the whole situation. I've done this for plenty of games that I've loved, and I look at it and I go, well, I don't like this business practice that they're doing here and that. You have to look at it for what it is. It's basically scamming you out another $40
basically
for this upgrade.
Yo, Donnie, by the way.
Ridiculous.
Yo, Donnie says, let D talk about the hot chip. Yeah, D did make a video on that. We'll get into that for sure. He also says, shout out to his fraud doppelganger account on Twitter. Apparently he's important enough to warrant the trolls. It's nice having Miles on here. Again, I think Miles has the only thing that you could possibly say, which is only to divert some of the negativity, would be, hey, it's the publisher and 100% them. And it could be, and maybe that's a likely scenario. But you know, at the end of the day, you got to tag them. Then it's still a problem. It's still got to be dealt with. It can't be something that expands and becomes more common, because that would be ridiculous. Also, shout out to 2,200 people joining us live, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. Share us out. You know, I got to say this 47 times every show. Let's try to crack 1,000 likes for the end of the show. We do appreciate it, guys. But yeah, Control, let us know your thoughts down below. And don't forget, tweet at them nicely. Remedy 505 Games. Let them know that this isn't cool, and a lot of their competitors are not doing this for a reason. Also, I wanted to throw this out there real quick. This kind of went under the radar. 4A Games is bought out by Saber Interactive. Did you guys hear about this? This is the Metro Exodus developer.
So, I didn't hear about it, but I had a feeling they were going to be bought soon, man. Like, they make some pretty awesome looking games, and they're very talented, and I think they just need a little more money, time, budget to really make something special, to be honest. So,
well, why? I
yeah,
mean, fuck, man, they
surprised.
chose. I mean, I guess bought out when they buy majority stock or something. But I mean, Saber Interactive, that's like a janitor going up to a Lamborghini dealership. I'm just surprised that they're buying anyone, because they're kind of small themselves, you know?
Yeah, because what have they made?
They
Saber
are responsible for World War Z, which is actually quality. It's a quality.
World War Z was really
They've
good.
done a lot of ports too. They've done like some porting and stuff like that. They're a
But I'm
pretty good
surprised they have the
developer.
money.
A little chestnut called WWE Playgrounds. Heard of that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh shit!
I'm surprised they have the money for 4A games.
I mean, if they were that cheap to buy out, why the fuck
why
didn't
didn't
Microsoft
Microsoft?
buy them? What the fuck?
Exactly.
I don't
They're
know.
doing
Metro
they're doing the
Exodus was a great
Crisis
game.
too. They're doing the Crisis remastered too. I'm looking them up right now.
So yeah, that's kind of incredible knowing that someone like Saber is running up. Hey,
Wow.
we own you now. Basically, we have controlling interest, and Microsoft didn't run up and just figure. You know, if it's that cheap, fuck it.
Yeah, or Sony.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
anybody.
they didn't do it.
Metro was quality enough. They need to work on their control scheme, but man, like Metro's quality, and it wouldn't have hurt them at all to go in on that. I'm pretty surprised by that. D-Batch, there was actually, this is kind of weird. I had access to this live stream. I still didn't end up catching it because I was busy, but there was a Hot Chips live stream where they detailed a lot of the Xbox Series X architecture, the hardware, the ray tracing efficiencies, and some of the gains there. They've given a lot of detail, very, very in-depth detail, that doesn't necessarily change our expectations of what's possible, because we had pretty much expected these efficiencies. But some people are really interested in some of the minute figures. So when it comes to Hot Chips, what is it, the breakdowns? And of course, I encourage them to check out your video afterwards. But your breakdowns of some of that information, some of the notable things you got from the official information coming out of Microsoft.
Wow, man. They drop a lot of information. I'll tell you, I'm still combing through it because there's a lot of stuff in there. Like the key takeaways were like that they're using server grade CPUs. Now that kind of surprised me. I didn't expect that. Now that kind of explains why their CPU's clocked higher than the PlayStation 5, because this is a higher grade CPU, so it's rated to run pretty much 24/7. So the heat resistance is larger on that. So you know it's a more efficient CPU. They didn't really announce too much new stuff. Well, they announced a unified geometry engine, which was a shocker to me, because I thought only the PlayStation 5 had a geometry engine, and that was part of its RDNA 3 architecture. But apparently, apparently the Series X also has a unified geometry engine. It does primitive and mesh shader, so it does both of them. So, I'll get through
What
all
about
of
the ray
these.
tracing efficiencies?
Yeah, no, the ray tracing that caught me off guard. They have they have custom hardware actually on the silicon for both hardware ray tracing and machine learning. And when they use it, you get 3 to 10 times performance increase when using ray tracing or machine learning. Now that was a shocker. So there's custom hardware on there for ray tracing. So it's not just a simple AMD solution. Microsoft added something to it. So their numbers are pretty freaking high, man. They were saying something like 380 gigaраys per second. And if we compare it to the 2080 Ti, that has 10 gigaраys per second. Now it's two different architectures, so like it's not an apple to apple comparison, so we can't really compare it like that. Now I've been kind of scouring the web and seeing what other engineers and people are thinking about it, and some people are saying that it's going to be at least a 4 times improvement in ray tracing performance versus a 2080 Ti. So it sounds It sounds monstrous. We found out that it's on a 7 nanometer enhanced node.
I would
So
imagine that's best case scenario performance too, like some fucking memory
yeah,
multiplier active fucking Ayukin shit.
yeah, that was that. See, the 10 gig arrays is Nvidia's not their peak, their standard performance, whatever.
Mm.
And 380 gig arrays was the max, was the peak. So
Mm-hmm.
it's you can't really compare the numbers, but still looking at the numbers on papers, it should be significantly better at ray tracing than a 2080 Ti, and I would expect it to be because you know the RTX cards have been out for quite some time, so ray tracing has kind of been there. I'm sure that AMD engineers looked at Nvidia and how they were doing it and what they didn't do good and what they did do good and improved upon it. So I would expect the RDNA 2 GPUs to do ray tracing quite well.
How many
What else?
gig arrays do I need in my car to travel backwards in time?
Man, I have no idea, man. They also talked about some HDMI 2.1 improvements. There's going to be some stuff that owners of the CX television will actually get to use. I'll get into that into another video. I don't know. There's like so much information. I don't even know where to begin. They talked about the audio performance, how they're going to offload the audio to a separate block that's basically all the CPU cores inside of the Xbox One X. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, pretty much a lot of efficiencies. It's definitely going to be on the latest node. And then this morning, I did a video on this. Some information dropped from AMD. Now, one of the sites, I believe it was hardwaretimes.com, they actually were covering yesterday's Hot Chips event. And they reached out to AMD to ask them if the GPU that's inside the Xbox Series X, if it's full RDNA. And they actually answered them and said, yes, it's the full-fledged RDNA card. It has all the features. And that's been kind of a point of contention a little bit lately. A lot of people have been saying that the PlayStation 5 has all these features that Sony hasn't officially confirmed yet. Everybody and their mother is confirming these features. And it just didn't make sense to me why Sony would not talk about these features. Because Sony's a very proud company. They wouldn't want people to think that Microsoft's console has something in it that's not available in theirs, that they have somehow the inferior console. That's just not the Sony
I think
way.
it's weird that certain people are pushing this whole Sony have all these special features that are really going to be part of RDNA 3 and all this crap. We've already explained that there's a lot of custom features in a lot of the silicon that console makers get when their stuff's really, truly custom that they will produce on a mass scale later. That doesn't necessarily mean it's fucking some T800 shit coming back from the future. That just means that, hey, this integer scaling was actually pretty efficient in this anti-aliasing case. Let's go ahead and incorporate that. Maybe that could be useful in a 16-bit operation, right? Some shit like that. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if people say it's got some custom shit in it that's RDNA 500 in the future. We already know which one's more powerful. Sony know it too. They focused on the SSD because they know they've got it right there.
And that's another thing they touched upon, the SSD. They said that they've been making this SSD for 13 fucking years, man. That's a long time. So they were planning for this move. So that SSD should be really fully optimized, to be quite honest with you. And we're seeing that on paper, at least with the Velocity architecture, with sampler feedback and all the good things that Microsoft is doing with that architecture. So I think it's going to bear out next generation. They said basically that they made the Xbox Series X to have realistic looking graphics. Now I know Xbox has the meme, we don't got no games or we got cartoony games, but that's what they actually said at the Hot Chips. And if we look at Hellblade 2, if that's any indication of where Microsoft is going, I would say that they're really shooting for the stars. I think we're going to see really what this console is capable of, like maybe in the next year. I got to go over all the documents because like we got everything. We got like, the GPU size on the die, all the CU counts, how they do the ray tracing. So there's a lot of information to go over. Like, check my channel out throughout the week. Like, I'll touch on little parts of it, but like I said, it's a lot of information. Basically, it's good news for the Xbox Series X. It's a beast of a console. It appears to have the latest technology from AMD for the GPU. The CPU is a server-graded CPU. They're using the caches from the mobile processor. So, there's going to have to be some concession there because you're not going to have the full desktop variant in the console. I don't think you would need it anyways. This is an 8-core, 16-thread CPU. I think it's more than enough for a console.
And when your I/O speeds are that high, I would imagine that cache is going to be as like I said, like before, cache is cache because it needs to access a lot of low-level information very quickly. And now that everything's so fucking quick around that CPU, maybe they said, well, we can shave this much price, and really it's not going to make much of a difference at all. At the end of the day, we'll have to see. I got to give a shout out to LSSJT for going to channel member, by the way. And also, you know, seriously, what did he say? He says, what the fuck? LSS said, help, I'm stuck in the dryer. What the? All right, buddy. I'm opening it now.
Dude, what the hell's your problem?
Yeah.
I'll be there in a minute.
I just want to say real quick about the machine learning. The machine learning is really going to be fucking excellent on the Xbox Series X. They're not just doing it for, they're doing it for like resolution. So they're going to have some DLSS like solution, which we pretty much expected because we've seen some documents on that. But they confirmed that they're also going to do it for character behavior. So it's going to have something to do with the AI. And I think that's going to be a major game changer going forward for the next generation, because the AI this generation, it's okay, but some games it's really dumb. Now if they can build an AI that learns how you play the game and reacts to you, I think that's fantastic. And that the fact that they have this custom hardware that accelerates it by 3 to 10 times in the Xbox Series X, I think is excellent. This console, honestly, I'm really impressed with everything that I saw. I'm kind of flabbergasted, to be quite honest.
And this has been Tech Talk with D-Batch.
Well, I mean, listen.
Let me give a shout out to Tony real quick before I forget. I want to throw it to Tim. Tony, by the way, and I think it's so funny because on Twitter you got these idiots that'll stumble into a thread and basically say that we're saying things that we don't say, and then people like Tony are like, I will give you $1,000 if you produce one clip of that. And because he knows that what's actually said, because Tony's a real one. He says, great podcast, gentlemen. Man, much love for the people that are actually here listening and not out there spreading lies on Twitter, even and can't back it up even for a $1,000 Cash App reward frauds. Hey, Tony, it's all good, brother. The tallest trees catch the most wind, and unfortunately, you know, anybody is dumb enough. It's a problem in the world today. It includes politics, everything else. People that are so opinionated, but they're not informed on what it's actually said and the real issues. And those people on Twitter, they're part of the problem. So again, the more people listen that don't, we usually have an A+ or more in terms of like rating on the show. And you know, you guys power it all. So do appreciate everybody watching live.
It seems a lot of people that talk on tech outside of, you know, out there, they don't even know what they're talking about. Like guys like you and D really know your stuff when it comes to tech. And that's why they get it twisted sometimes. They don't understand what you're even talking about at times.
Yeah, they're on page 4, and I'm like, oh, we're on 342, man. You're on the right fucking chapter. But yeah, context is everything. I think that's key. So again, shout out to Tony and everybody watching live. Hit that like button if you haven't, guys. Just try to crack 1,000 for the end of the show. We got 2,500 people watching live. Do appreciate it, brother. And again, Tim, what were you saying about this hot chips stuff?
Well, I had said a while back. You guys can, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I had said a while back. I actually found out through, you know, asking questions and that, and I got a double confirmed. I actually talked to Tom Warren and DM, and I mentioned some of the stuff that I heard. And obviously, you know, he kind of acknowledged it. He was the guy that actually brought up to me because he mentioned that the dev kits were late for Xbox. Jason Schreier was another one. And the reason why was because Xbox specifically waited. They wanted the full set of RDNA features, RDNA 2. And some of it had to do with, obviously, you know, for gaming too, but it also had a little bit to do with Azure, I guess the machine learning portion of it. You know, because you could use it in the cloud when not in whatever. I don't. At that point, I didn't. That went over my head. But the fact of the matter is that they waited, and they were the last to lock in on the architecture, and that's why the dev kits were late. They are full RDNA 2, and you know I got into it with Red Tech and these other guys. You know they're trying to paint the picture about RDNA 3, and you put it perfectly. There are some things that are learned, that are implemented in further technology, but what's going on with that? And people saying RDNA 3 is they're building up a false sense of
they act like
power.
They went into the future and saved some powerful shit and brought it down. Like it's like no, this
right. But the fact of the matter is that Xbox is more powerful, and people really are having a hard time you know, I mean, I was joking around we were talking, me and Grounded, joking around about it, how it was just like, I would just write Xbox is more powerful just to be kind of a dick. And you would be surprised how many people get triggered over that. People
Yes,
actually
they do.
are,
They should be used to it by now.
yeah, but people are actually believing that PlayStation 5 is more powerful, it's more advanced, when the facts are there. I mean, Xbox, you look up and down, aside from the SSD, Sony has Xbox has all the advantage, and also it looks like they have they definitely have the full feature set of RDNA 2. I don't know if Sony does. I think that they don't, to be honest.
And I showed in a video yesterday, a guy working on PS5. Apparently, he was on a channel. I don't know the name of the channel. I think you guys know
Marlin Gaming.
Yeah, and I showed the clip of that developer working on the PlayStation 5 saying, hey, Ratchet & Clank, yeah, it's more than possible in Series X. All that stuff that you would think that SSD holds back on because people don't understand, again, the system memory is way faster than any of these SSDs. That, you know, both these systems have access to all of this game data instantly thanks to how quickly they've been able to compress and accelerate data into the system memory from the SSD. There's more to the story, right? And they have it in their head that only certain things can work on the PS5 and, you know, wouldn't work on the Xbox. And the developer flat out said no, it could easily run on the Xbox basically, and from what he knows about the system, there's no way that it wouldn't work.
Yeah, if you remember, that's been a running joke here on RDX. We've been saying it for like months, saying, you know, oh yeah, that slow SSD that Xbox has. Yeah, it's so slow.
Yeah, it's only as quick as my fucking 970 Pro.
It's only an NVMe, SSD drive. You know, it's so slow.
Yeah, it's good. You got to make light out of it. You got to have fun with it because, as usual, people end up waiting and seeing, and we're like, hey, yeah, that was obvious the whole time. So.
I gotta ask you guys this though. I don't understand why everyone thinks that the PlayStation 5 has all these features when Sony hasn't confirmed them. Like, Sony had a deep dive, just like Microsoft did their deep dive. Sony had their own deep dive where they talked about primitive shaders. They didn't mention variable rate shading. They didn't mention machine learning on that console. So how do people just come to the conclusion that it has more features than the Xbox Series X when it doesn't have more features confirmed?
I mean, like, it's not a lot of people, right? It's basically these people that are stuck in a time machine in 2013 and think that Sony's going to be more powerful, and they're just sitting there.
I'm stuck in here.
They're just stuck there, and they're just stuck in that mindset that Sony's going to be more powerful. And it's like, listen, the PS5 is going to be a great console. It's going to be good. We're going to all play it. We're all going to have fun with it. But it's just not more powerful than the Series X, and that's it. Move on. Yeah. Get over it. Yeah. It's not the most powerful console. It's holding back gaming, and that's what. No, I'm just joking. No.
Hey, shout out to Failed Power Man. So he's trolling. He said PS5 is full RDNA 4. Fire!
Well, one of the things though I'd like to say though, Xbox definitely had people that were making up stuff. Mr. Media X.
Yeah. Back in 2013, right?
People just don't like being the underpowered console, and they will be leaving fantasy. And like people like Insider, Parasite, or whatever, and Mr. Media X, they actually started to believe what they were saying. And that's the thing. When people are starting to say it's heavily customized RDNA 3, you know, the fact is you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. You know what I mean? It's, you know, I'm not trying to...
Whoa.
Console war with that.
These motherfuckers are coming for Tim.
I've heard.
They're trying to Sony's
hacking his shit right
now. Whoa. What's happening? Holy shit. Hang on, Tim.
The robots have got him.
I felt like I was in the human centipede for a minute. Tim, are you still there?
Yeah, no, I'm
this motherfucker's on sprint right now.
Sounds like he's in a freaking slow motion.
Am I still roboting?
You're good now. Hopefully he speeds up. Fuck, that was crazy.
Yeah, talk super fast so you sound normal.
All right, hang on. Tim, are you there?
Yes.
All right, you want to try that again? You're going to teleport again. What the fuck just happened?
No, I just, people just don't like being underpowered, and for whatever reason they'll make up stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that's being put out there that's just not true. And the guy from Red Tech Gaming, Paul, is a very smart individual, but you're setting people up for disappointment. You're saying things that are trying to negate what Xbox has, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it comes down to that. It's you're trying to say, oh, it could do certain things that Xbox can't. That's not the fact. The fact is that, like Dealer said, if there are things that are going to be in RDNA 3, it's going to come from both Xbox and PlayStation 5. It's just something that's going to evolve, and they're going to take that tech or whatever.
A good example of why this doesn't matter is FP16. The Xbox One X did not have 16 floating point. Basically, it didn't have the fucking 8.4 teraflops guru shit people were talking about with the Pro. The Pro had it. That was a feature that was not on the Xbox One X that technically could have been used to make better looking games in certain little ways, like with anti-aliasing, right? But it didn't have it. And it's because it didn't fucking matter. It was not something that pumped out a lot of pixels and effects efficiently. And Microsoft have a ton of little features like I said, the integer scaling, all that stuff. And both of them are going to have these things. So I hate that we even have to address it. It's like we're trying to belittle the PlayStation, but no, we're just trying to set the record straight that these systems have this kind of custom stuff in silicon, and they do bring that stuff up. It's happened before. S. Vitterman, he says, can you clarify last video? Was the guy saying Ratchet and Clank can run on the Xbox Series X? Absolutely, that's what he was saying. Do appreciate it, brother. Donnie also, he says, I just need to know that Bug Snacks can run in all his glory on my Series. It cannot run on the Series X. I'm sorry, sir. There is no rumble on the Series X controller like the PS5 one.
And you don't get googly eyes.
I think there was a guy in the chat that was referring to that PS5 developer and what he said, and he was saying that's not what he said. No, that is what he said. He said that the Xbox Series X could do what the PS5 can.
Yeah, Kirby, by the way, who's a game developer who was on the show not long ago. Shout out to you, brother. He says, hello, RDX from 20,000 feet. Holy shit, he's playing Flight Simulator right now. He says, can't wait for the Xbox Series X, PC, RDNA 2, Ampere, XE, and Switch 2, bringing the machine learning heat. Yes, this is going to be a very big thing for the future of gaming. He says, all bound to our new Skynet overlords. Yes, in fact, he is 100% correct there. Do appreciate it, brother. But yeah, I mean, Tim, you had a lot of good points, man. I'm surprised people hadn't seen fucking Flight Simulator Metascore 93 and said, 93's trash. How they're always raising the bar, right?
Yeah.
So I'm surprised about that, but I mean, again,
you know what it is? It comes down to, like, I've said this months ago to somebody. I was telling them, what they're going to do is they're going to say, well, it's just a flight simulator. Who cares? It's just a flight simulator.
Well, in a way,
just like they do with the racing
people,
games. Who cares? But when it comes to the graphics, I mean, everybody cares about the graphics when it comes to, say, Gran Turismo or even Forza. So I mean, the graphics are amazing in this game.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, graphics are. They said on Medium, this game outclasses most games ever made on medium settings on the PC. D, would you
crippling PCs? I mean, that tells you something.
Would you say that on Medium, D? This game looks better than most things you've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, man, I can't even describe it, man. The game is just glorious, and the level of detail, and I guess it's coming from the cloud and all them loading in the maps and the real-time data, but it's truly an amazing game. And like I said, when I popped it in, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna need a new PC, man, because I'm just used to playing games at like 4K 60 or very close to it. And this game, like, honestly tell you, with all the bells and whistles, I was getting like 4K 40 frames per second. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then they're going to add ray tracing later, which is a fucking reoccurring theme for Microsoft lately. You're going to lose another 30 frames or so on that. So that's going to be great.
Tinker.
But yeah, Flight Simulator is the first next generation game from basically everything that's being shown and said. So expect.
So far, graphically, I would agree. I
am helping a certain Xbox, basically an executive with a PC build right now. And that's something that I had to kind of bring up to him, like, hey, overall memory throughput is going to be a lot more important in the next couple of years. And you're going to want to consider, PCI 4 when you're talking about who you're going with here. So Flight Simulator is going to be one of those games where if you can future-proof, you're probably going to be better off. And looks great.
Speaking of PCIe 4, that's something I forgot. That was also confirmed via hot chips for the Xbox Series X. Remember, everybody was saying that it wasn't on the Xbox Series X because of the slower SSD?
Yeah, but it's capable of those speeds. It just accelerates them with the compression block.
No, it actually has PCIe 4.0 on it. It is using a PCIe.
Yeah, or it couldn't achieve the 5 gig plus, right?
Yeah, but people were thinking that it didn't actually have that. It was PCIe third generation, so that was more confirmation that it's up to spec at least.
Yeah, it's basically got the bandwidth of PCI 4 with a SSD in it that has a controller of PCI 3. And then they use their software trickery accelerated through the hardware to get the speeds that can actually utilize a lot of PCI's Generation 4. So, again, I mean, it's very interesting how they've decided to get results. This is a very, very intelligent system, the way they're doing these things, right? So, I don't know. It kind of, with Sony, we think they've done the best with what they can, being that they've had to have hardware backward compatibility, meaning 36 CU, blah, blah, blah. And I just think it's odd. We talked about the liquid metal on the PS5. I talked about it in part of my last video. Liquid metal, D-Batch, this is goddamn, this is a tech heavy episode. I didn't plan on this, but liquid metal is, I mean, this is kind of very interesting, liquid metal on a console like this. It's by far the most effective thing they could have done to rein in that 2200 megahertz. We were kind of wondering, like, what are they going to do here? This is a big part of that.
Yeah, it is, because you're right. We were wondering, like, how the hell are they getting these speeds and how are they keeping the heat under control? We ruled out water cooling because that's just too expensive a solution. So the liquid metal is very, very, very interesting. I wonder how those PlayStations are going to last, 3 years down the road. If you got to service it, how are you going to service it? You're going to have to put the liquid metal on yourself. What's going on? But overall, all jokes aside, though, the liquid metal is a really smart solution. It should keep the temperatures under control. And you know what? If they can have a smooth, a quiet and cool PlayStation 5 from this procedure, then I'm all for it, man. And I commend them for it.
Yeah,
It's cost efficient, at least, right?
It's definitely. I'm sure they've obviously done some stuff on top of that, right? For 20. I mean, this chip's seeing chips no AMD chips ever really seen, right, on air. So. This is pretty crazy, and I commend Sony for that. That's pretty for all just to get up to that 10.2. You are reaching and exceeding the limits of probably what most of the AMD yields out there can really even maintain at 10.2. Yields were apparently kind of an issue, so I don't know. That's still interesting. I figured I'd bring that up real quick. If you want more detail on that, check out the last video. Miles, did you hear this Alana Pierce quote that a lot of people, like morons, literally cut off before she said could be a placeholder? But she's talking about how somebody sent her a picture at GameStop. I've been told by people at GameStop as well, like, this is stuff that isn't really a big deal, but apparently at GameStop they have a $16 placeholder price for the Series X at the store. And I just want to say, first and foremost, remember, guys, at the beginning of this generation, you had stores that had $1,000 placeholders for these new consoles. One came out of 4, one came out of 5 with a Kinect in it, right?
Yep.
So did you hear much about this, Miles? And kind of what were your thoughts? If in chat, let us know what would happen if they actually launched the Series X at $600, which again we're confident it will be 5.
Yeah, I have seen the $600 price tag confirmed blowing up on social media. The Monster Leak being the first one, which people just didn't do simple math in that one.
Well, can you give us some context there, and why is ABC so hard now?
People basically divided the cost, $600, by the amount that Monster had to legally set aside for this contest that they're running, but then failed to factor in that Halo Infinite is included. So worst case scenario, right, with their math, the console would be $540. Yeah. The $600
and that's a world
price
with no
point
taxes, right?
Pretty wild. I don't think a lot of PlayStation fans would realize that if that was the case, then the PS5 would also be $600, because everything that I've heard dictates that Xbox is not willing to sell at least the disc-based Series X for more than the disc-based PS5.
Albert
so if that is true, they will both be $600.
Albert G says Alana says the Series X will be. Did you not hear me, Albert? You have selective hearing. She said that it was a placeholder, and that's just where your source, whoever that was, never listened to them again, failed to actually keep up with the facts. So, placeholder prices, they're common. At the beginning of this generation, you had ones that were around $1,000. Zach, I'm sure you saw a lot of the outlets and stuff running with this. That's one reason I like Windows Central, is because they fucking read. and they understand the context.
Reading's important, you know.
Reading's kind of a big deal. I hear.
Basic
Reading is
math.
I can barely do it sometimes.
High school education in general is pretty fundamental.
Hey, any kindergartners out there, Miles? You know, his opinions do not represent RDX.
It's more about basic comprehension skills, honestly, that I think a lot of people seem to be lacking when they talk on this stuff. Zucker.
I think, well, you know, when someone like Alana Pierce, who's extremely like popular in the industry and everything like that, says something, or like the placeholder or whatever, like people just blow it out of proportion. And she, to her credit, she did call people out. Like she was like, "How dare you say I said this?" When she called out Review Tech USA.
Not Review Tech.
I'm just whatever,
YouTube
man.
Drama.
So no, she just called him out and said I didn't say that, and he changed his title and all that and whatever, and you know she never said like confirmed, and like and then the math thing I just thought was hilarious. Like I was sitting there and I was like calculating.
That was
Red
like,
Dragon. Yeah. Oh,
Red who?
Yeah. Who the hell is that?
That guy really went downhill, man.
Yeah, well, you know, my thumbnails are better. Sorry. No, but anyway. Yeah, all right. It might be. No, so I don't know. People just didn't calculate like what he was saying with the Halo game and everything, and nobody knows what the price is. A lot of insiders have even said that like, you know, this is very fluid because Sony and Xbox are basically trying to outdo themselves. And that's the whole point. Like, it's going to change. It's basically going to be fluid this whole time until we actually get a confirmed freaking price. Like, that's all it is. And we're just waiting for both of them to announce it. They were supposed to do it this month. And then now they're like, you know, we're going to push it to September. And then Microsoft was like, yeah, so are we, fuckface. And that's just what's happening. Like,
and
literally.
The waiting game continues.
Yeah,
this is a little obnoxious.
Let's be real. This is the. I said in one of my videos. This is literally the weirdest console launches I've ever seen. Like, nobody wants to go first, and they're just like, nope, because Xbox learned from their mistake in 2013 when they came out, you know, thinking they're freaking Ric Flair, like strutting, going, yeah, this would be $500, and everybody was like, ugh. And then Sony was like, nah, 400, fuck you, and that's it. So
I mean, but
they're not
again, though, does it matter when you have a Series S out there that's going to be cheaper no matter what? So here's the thing: there's a reason I've said 500 and 300 for Microsoft the whole time, because I think that we do know what the fucking price is going to be. And I think that whatever reason Microsoft are waiting on, if they really are waiting on, because again, there has technically been no August event confirmed, just like June. I'd say it again because every show it's like, I guess, new people or whatever, you know, shout out to you guys, but they didn't confirm an event for August. They said they got some information. We're predicting some kind of info dump, some kind of briefing. It could be a video. June, it was interviews with developers. So it could be anything. It's definitely not like at the July event or any of that stuff. So I guess we'll have to see. I mean, but they got to announce Series S soon. And if you're willing to take an L on the price, Microsoft, if you're if you're even open to the idea of lowering the price another $100 because you're afraid of what Sony are going to do, despite having something like Lockhart out there, then just do it anyway.
I just want to say real quick, some people are adding fuel to the fire too. I'm going to read one of your super checks. KY Bob, he asked if I saw the slide for the Xbox Series X APU costs. Now, people saw the slide from yesterday's event, and the slide does say that the Xbox Series X APU is significantly more expensive than the previous generations, like a lot more expensive, and he kind of noted that. So I think these consoles are expensive, but I just don't think they're going to retail for more than $500. I think both of these companies are just trying to see the least loss they could take on the console, pretty much.
Yeah, if Microsoft drops something at $600 that is a mistake, they will repeat 2013 in a way. In terms of their hardware and what people are saying about, you know, $600 has never worked, not once. It will not work again for you, even if you do got ray tracing. You haven't shown us any. You haven't shown us shit running on the box. So you better have done a phenomenal job at marketing this shit, and it better have a built-in sandwich maker, because you haven't done anything right now that would make anybody want to pay $600 for this fucking thing.
Well, they don't even, like, let's just be honest, they don't even really market the console that much. Like, I mean, that's not something they do a lot of. They market Game Pass, and that's what they're going to be doing next generation and for a while.
Of course, but still, the box is out there, and we need to know the price. And the one thing that I see people running with is, well, yes, you know, when the PS3 came out at $600, there was a lot of backlash for it, but it did indeed sell out. So a lot of people like to bring that up.
That many either.
But there was many, exactly, and there was a lot of backlash for it. The thing is, it's 2020. We all know in the state of the world right now, if they come out with a console that's $600, it would just be, this ridiculous number that people are going to, there's going to be a lot of backlash.
Maybe they're waiting. Maybe that's why they haven't announced shit, because they're waiting to announce it on the day there's a fucking another stimulus.
Oh, well, no.
When's the next stimulus?
A lot of people want to. A lot of people want to push this whole thing that like, oh, it's going to be 600 or even more. Like, so many people want to push these astronomical numbers around and stuff and say these consoles are going to cost this and that. They did the same thing with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X.
Yep.
Before those came out, they were yelling, oh, it's going to be $700-800. Like, it was just crazy numbers.
Technology
I don't
never
know why
gets
people
cheaper.
forget
I don't know.
that they did the same thing back then.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. Like, these are going to be $500 consoles. That's it.
Yep. Let me give a shout out to Jabril Williams. He says Sony are not going to touch $600 as far as Xbox goes. It is kind of silly to me that Phil will say stuff like we aren't trying to outsell PlayStation on consoles, but they'll go any length to basically make sure that Series X is the same price as the PS5. Yeah, and again, we don't know exactly what they're planning. Keep in mind that technically speaking, right now Microsoft have less incentive to take a loss on anything that they ever have. With xCloud going out there, with games on PC, with you being able to play it on your consoles you have now or a lower end console later, they have less of an incentive to take a loss than ever. But when it comes down to it, I've been personally told that they're not going to mess up on certain things regarding the launch of these consoles. Phil said it publicly, they're not going to mess up on price or power, meaning, we got a low end and a high end. We're going to be the most powerful. We're also going to be the cheapest. Sony have been talking about how they're the value proposition. They're not talking about being cheapest or most powerful. They're in the middle of Lockhart and the Series X. Things could change, man, but when it comes down to it, it's not smart for anybody to do $600 console. It's just not. Nicholas, by the way, he says PS5 runs so hot it becomes liquid metal.
Wow.
Shots. Why you gotta be like that, Nicholas? Why you gotta be so mean? No, seriously though, I think it's pretty interesting. Everything that's happening right now. Failed Powermancer just popped up, by the way. He says Phil said he's not trying. God damn it! This notification here. See, he says Phil said he's not trying to be in a console war. So $600 doesn't matter. Well, that wasn't the context of the statement, but yeah.
Game Pass is where they're putting all their eggs in, is what he said.
Yeah, and that's part of it. But you got to understand that Sony are doing the same damn thing with PlayStation now. And they've already talked about how they're sending their games to every device and their job listings and stuff. So actually, Sony have more games in PS Now than Xbox having Game Pass. So they are placing their investment pretty heavily.
Maybe if Sony failed, maybe if Sony put some pride into console and console sales, you maybe have full RDNA and maybe a 9.2 variable console.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
because that's the thing. I get a kick out of guys like Failed, and I love Failed, but they say that and they point out that, but who's pushing out the better hardware?
Yeah,
it's Xbox. So regardless of what it is, your experience is better on an Xbox when you're playing the same game of a multiplat. It has more. It can go further. It's just a better piece of hardware. That's the end of that's. So you can't really go crazy. Phil's saying that. I don't agree. I don't think Phil should say stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think he sets himself up because obviously PlayStation 5 is going to sell more, but you shouldn't say stuff like that. You just invite yourself to get, people to push back on you and say, that you don't care about Xbox and push stupid stuff.
And Phil's never going to say we're for a console war anyway, right?
Right, exactly.
So I mean, again, Phil, I mean, with the marketing Xbox has been doing lately, especially with the hardware, and not even showing us or giving us an idea of any third-party stuff that's really going to look next level or like showing us anything, and it's a few months away. It's just dog shit. Like, there's no excuse. I mean, I could make a production video in 6-7 hours. And fucking, if they send me a shit ton of B-roll, right? Like one of the reviews when they send me a copy of a game, they send you some stuff that you can use in the review. If they sent out a packet and said, "Here, make a fucking video, show them what this thing's gonna do and the differences between the different versions," I could do this shit in a day by myself.
I'll sign up. Yeah,
D-Batch will sign up. So again, Cherry in the super chat says that contradicts what his previous statement said. And if Xbox didn't care about the console war, they would have raised the price. So yeah, I mean, Phil said he wants to win. So it does. There are conflicting statements there as well. By the way, Killer, by the way, in the Super Chat says, did you guys see who? I don't know who that is. Supposed computer engineer student and his misinformation campaign to down everything about the Series X. I would imagine that unless he is actually making games on one system or the other and understands how much throughput the Portal system of Ratchet and Clank actually takes by a factual standpoint, like the developer said, yeah, this uses 4 gigs per second here through this section. You know, I imagine we need much more information for anybody could really come out and go directly against a PlayStation developer and what he's saying is possible in Series X. That's kind of odd, but hey, shout out to 2,800 people watching live, by the way, guys. If you haven't hit the like button, let's crush 1,000 likes for the end of the show. Hit retweet on Twitter, help us out a little bit. We do appreciate it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, Tim. The whole price thing, again, that's a placeholder. We'll see where Miles had a good point. You know, he said that they didn't factor in the price of the game. They didn't even factor in the $30 or $40 US for taxes on a $500 console. They don't really factor in a lot of that
Right,
stuff.
exactly.
I just want to tell people this though. These placeholders are there because they are not given a price. If there is not a price announced, these companies do not know the prices. GameStop does not know the price of these consoles. They don't get that info until it's released. So
Correct.
it's a placeholder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
needs to be
I
put in
feel
the system ahead of time, like months and months, just so they have
Correct.
a SKU
Mhm.
is the reason. And you can't put a SKU in most systems unless you have some sort of associated price.
Yeah. Right now, next to the PS5 and Series X, there's I don't know emoji.
Could you imagine if they gave the price, if they really honestly gave prices to these companies, to these guys at GameStop or whatever, they'd be leaked right away. I mean, like they tried to do it here with this
17-year-old Greg working there. Like, hey, here's the price. And Greg's like, sweet, thanks.
Hell yeah. What? $5 million?
I mean, this is common sense. Like, think, people, think.
Well, you know, hey, headline, etc. Zachary, did you hear about Phil Spencer doubling down on studios again?
Yeah, I actually saw that. Like, talking about how they're investing, right? Like, they've told Microsoft that, like, they're going to be investing in studios even more now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where, again, before the July event, I said the day before in a video, like, hey, yeah, there won't be any studio acquisition stuff tomorrow. They won't talk about, even if they did somehow get their hands on WB, they won't talk about none of this stuff. We do know they've acquired some things, though. We're just trying to narrow that shit down. I mean, from everything that was recently said, because again, I think it's worth noting that Phil did this for a reason. He wants to remind people that, yeah, well, there's still stuff we haven't announced yet. We'll probably announce it at EXO at this fucking rate. Unless Sony has some announcement for studios, then they'll wait for them to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, people have been talking about Sony. They've been shopping around, and they have been. They were trying to buy that Warframe developer. That was going on, and then I know everybody knows Xbox is still looking, and that's just what happened. But it has to be a good fit, and it has to be, like they talk about, fit, location. I think the most logical one, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but like it is the Japanese studio that Phil's talked about, and other developers have talked about, or executives have talked about. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know who it is. All I'm seeing is Hulk smash down the Golden Gate Bridge and fall off like 3 times. You look at him, he keeps falling off.
Hey, you know, this is my first time playing the damn game.
I can see that.
Now, what I thought it said was to latch on and hit Y, and I'm like, why the fuck would I hit Y? You know, so hey, I never said I was all the way like conscious playing this shit. All right,
you just did it 4 times in a row.
Hey, I'm gonna do it again too. I'm like, hang on, hang on. I'm like, I don't need to hit a button. Wow.
Oh, sorry,
and then after that, I learned how to read.
So distracting.
Hey, shout out to Jacob, by the way, new channel member, and thanks for the super sticker, buddy. And of course, yeah, you make fun of me. It's gameplay.
You look like Obi-Wan playing a game. He doesn't read the screen at all.
You know what? I just didn't feel like reading that day.
Yeah, I know, no shit. But anyways, back to the studios. There's been a lot of rumors about who they're going after, and apparently there's some big fish, right? Like the WB stuff. But then now WB is not being sold. Bungie, I didn't hear the Bungie one. I didn't hear the Bungie one, Sir Tim Dog. You fanboy.
It's
Bungie's coming back home.
I heard Bungie.
Hey,
okay, you
Tim
heard
Dog's
Bungie. I didn't hear
confirming Bungie.
I didn't hear that. I don't want to hear it.
Why not?
Yeah,
Let's suck now, Fonz. I mean, what worse can happen?
Yeah, that's
Bro, I don't want to hear that.
They'd fit right in with
that. Or
Xbox.
CD Project Red coming their way. No. Leave them alone.
Why? You think they're gonna be hard?
I think they would.
How the
they
fuck do you
could
get on
possibly
CD
screw
Projekt
'em up.
Red? I mean, we're talking about Bungie.
I think the
Oh,
new
come on.
I think the new Microsoft would actually welcome Bungie's ideas. I think the problems why they left in the first place, I don't think those problems are there anymore. I don't think it's the same regime. I think they'd have a lot more freedom to do what they want to do. And I think it'd be an awesome fucking story, to be honest with you, if they came back home and fucking finished off Halo. Fucking
D.
A.
They have more freedom. They
One
have more
dream.
freedom without a publisher hanging over their head.
I mean, apparently
But do they have the
all these
Benjamins,
studios
though?
have their freedom. I don't know, except for the De La La, who had to release Battletoads without fucking online multiplayer for some reason.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. They do have their freedom because 343 has way too much freedom. Okay, that's enough.
Damn.
Damn.
They said, "Fuck textures. Can we just make a game without textures?" And they're like, "Well, fuck. I guess we did say you're free to do whatever you want." Shit.
Yeah, maybe Bungie can fix Halo.
I don't know. Let me give a shout out to Johnny, by the way.
Savages.
Johnny in the super chat, Johnny Pattons. He says, "I love Phil's vision and his class, but sometimes I think Xbox needs Peter more, his competitiveness." Yeah, I think he should be competitive. And honestly, you know, I don't think Phil he's looked down at his little 9mm in his hand. He's like, fuck, I got 2 bullets. I'm not starting a war right now. I think they're waiting on their studios to build more and more games up before they start getting a little arrogant and being a little bit more forward with some stuff. But like when Phil would say, I don't like showing stuff till it's ready. We know that's basically not true because they did a lot of that last month. They showed you a ton of games that aren't out for 2 or 3 years. Hellblade,
Avowed,
Fable.
Won't see for 3-4 years.
The reason they didn't do that before is because they didn't have anything to show you. Remember, Xbox stopped making games for a couple years. Basically, that's what happened. They had 6 studios. They were making Forza. They were making Halo. They were making Gears. That was it. And now they have some stuff to show you. They certainly fucking showed you. So, yeah, I don't think that was why you didn't see stuff before. I think they just didn't have the ammo in the clip. Now they're getting a little bit of ammo, but they don't have enough.
And as for the Warner Brothers thing, people are saying that they're still for sale. So it's been reported that Warner Brothers is not selling the game studios anymore. I think that, like, if it is true, it's because they're trying to go more digital, like with comic books and everything, and gaming is digital, mainly digital now. And so that I can see that, but I also can see it being a negotiation tactic that Warner Brothers is like, fuck it, we're not selling it, to drive the price up for the people that really want to buy them. That's been done before, where, you know, agents or, you know, lawyers will go out there and leak stuff out just to be like, yeah, you know what, we're not selling it anymore because you're not giving us a good price on it.
George Padilla, he says, buy Bethesda, but fire the dude who says 16x the detail. In Fallout 76, yeah, they were bragging about that shit. Games looks like trash. Rumple Foreskin, thanks for, it's been a minute since I've seen you, buddy. Thanks for becoming a channel member. All the channel members with the fancy green names and the cool looking Xbox logos next to your name. Shout out to all you guys and everyone in the chat saying hi. Again, you guys rock. If you haven't hit the like button, let's crack 1,000 for the end of the show. 2,800 people watching. We do appreciate it. Let me go ahead and move forward here. Yeah, Phil was talking about more studios again. And I thought it was worth noting. There is a rumored... Bonds, what are you saying about rumored Series X release date?
I heard there was a rumor that it was going to be released November 6th, and I don't know where that comes from, but there was people talking about this on Twitter. So
yes,
it's the controller leak that was going around.
Yeah, the controller, yeah.
The controller warranty expires November 5th, 2021. So I don't think it'd be the 6th. It'd be the 5th, if anything, because the 5th is actually a Friday. 6th is a Saturday, so they wouldn't launch it on a Saturday. So the Friday makes more sense. And
yeah, it does.
I'm thinking November 5th is most likely the date because the warranty...
November 6th is a Friday, bro.
Is it 6th a Friday?
Yeah, 7th is a Saturday. Get your head out of your ass, Steve. The most talented.
Yep, he's right. Zucker is right.
He's in Canada, man. You don't know his time, how his time works.
Yeah, I don't know what days you got over there, your calendar.
Yeah, so then
you weirdo.
Yeah, it would be the Friday then. So yeah, I would say the 6th.
So for those riding the turtle in the chat, basically he's saying that there's like a year warranty on the controller. Why the fuck would it expire on November 5th, 2021 unless you had it the year before, right? So this year, November 5th is basically what people are saying. The new controller, maybe they're launching the controller beforehand. They could launch those controls a little earlier, kind of get ready type of thing.
They did that last gen.
Why does Best Buy have all these controllers already? Because the console's not launching till like November 5th, like or November 6th, what we're saying now, whatever, right? So it's months away. Why would Best Buy have all these controllers? Because clearly they did, because these guys that looted the stores in Chicago, that's where they got all these controllers from. That's how they leaked out.
Man, they had these controllers for a minute.
Yeah.
My guess would be the 6th or the 20th. They're both Fridays for
I think
Series X.
it's going to be Xbox the 6th and PS5 is going to be the 17th.
Yeah.
They're saying the
What would have
13th
happened if somebody
for
looted
PS5.
a fucking Lockhart out of Best Buy? It's like, whoa, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't
We're
know.
just sitting there with cameras at looters. Come on, what else you got?
Hit up my Twitter. Hit up my Twitter.
The hell, a 2020 Shelby? What do you? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting that people got a hold of this kind of stuff. Xbox the Spot, shout out to you, buddy. He says, "What are your thoughts about the?" Whoa, buddy, we ain't talking about this type of shit on the podcast. You talk about harassment allegations at Rocksteady. I believe in first and foremost, innocent until proven guilty, and that's everyone across the board. I'll say that, right? That's really all I want to say it.
Yeah, that's the right thing to say.
He does say that was reported by Windows Central, and why AT&T was trying to sell them off. I don't know. That's kind of a crazy reason to sell an entire studio with thousands of people there when one fuckface did some stupid ass shit, if it actually happened. So, Miles, I guess you could put it mildly and cover that real quick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't see any world where that would be the reason that they would sell off the entire studio. I mean, you look at the stuff going on with like Ubisoft. There's just a lot of discussions happening at workplaces about the culture in gaming, and I think a lot of it's just come to a head, and that's why you're seeing more reports. People are coming forward because they're seeing other people come forward, and they're seeing changes being made. So I don't think that has any that doesn't factor into them selling it at all, and to the point of them getting a discount, I don't think there's a sexual assault discount that comes with selling a gaming studio.
Sorry.
But
The hell?
Savage.
What the fuck?
Sexual assault discount
all right,
on the
well.
receipt.
Zucker, is that why you're in that registry? Anyway, I want to go ahead. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, Dealer, I got a question for you,
yeah.
man. How come we haven't talked about the announcement of Court of Owls, a new Batman game, man?
I don't give a fuck at this point. I'm done with this teases.
I knew he was gonna get triggered.
I'm done with it. Warner Brothers, like, they did this shit a year ago.
God, stop being a hater, bro. It's gonna come out this Saturday. You're gonna see it all. It's gonna be great, and then you're gonna see that nice multiplayer Rocksteady.
I don't give a fuck
Suicide
about that
Squad game that you're
multiplayer
gonna
Rocksteady game. I've been talking about Suicide Squad for 2 years. I don't give a fuck about this multiplayer superhero shit. As a matter of fact, the game on your screen is Marvel's Avengers, and you know this
It's
game.
fire.
This
Don't
game
even
makes
listen to
me
him.
definitely not want a fucking multiplayer hero game right now. You know, I'm
You're a fraud.
I want a classic. Hey, it's been how many 5 years since they've had an actual single player narrative driven superhero game that was like the Arkham Knight, and I'm ready for another one. Fuck, like it's been long enough. Adonis, by the way, he says, isn't the Xbox payment plan still a thing? Yes, it is, and they are expanding that, right? So that is going to be more and more common as time goes on. I would imagine they've expanded it past. What the fuck was it in? The Sharper Image, Tim? Like some dogs at Microsoft stores only, and now it's on Amazon, etc. Right? So, yeah, I think that would expand. Tim Doug. I heard you breathing, boy.
No, I just got in. I was giving that's my dog breathing.
Oh yeah, blame it on the dog.
No, what were you saying?
Basically, he's wanting to know if that payment plan for Xbox All Access is still around.
Oh, they're gonna have big announcement on that. That was supposed to be a part of the big August thing. Now that we're hearing that's now September. But yeah, there's going to be some big announcements on Xbox All Access. If you guys have done it, well, the very few that have done it, it's been very limited. This is not going to be the case. It's also not going to be just United States. It's going to be done in, I think there's 22 regions or something like that. But there's going to be big information on that. Just when that's coming, I don't know. Like we were talking about that last week. It was supposed to be the end of August. Now people are saying it's September. But yeah, that if you guys want to have an affordable way out, that I think Xbox is really going to give you a way to get Game Pass, get Xbox Series X. Pay like $40 a month, and you're gonna have multiple like you're gonna have multiple outlets doing it. It's not gonna be just like Dell. It's gonna be like, Best Buy and GameStop maybe, and all
Planet
those things.
Fitness,
So,
yeah, everywhere, right?
yeah, no, they're making they're pushing. They're gonna be pushing all access. That news is coming, and I'm thinking about doing it. I just don't know how it would roll into my existing Game Pass.
Maybe it'll be additive. It'll just stack. The geeky nerd said if you want single player superhero games, Miles is coming soon, right? Yeah, I mean I've said it over and over, day one. But is it Batman? Is it an Arkham game? No. It's like saying if I want a racing game, go play Gran Turismo. No.
Ooh.
Right? So I have Gran Turismo. I don't play for a reason because I don't like the physics in the game, and Forza exists. So you like what you like, man. And I'm wanting another Batman game. I like the way that they've found and defined a genre that way with the balance that it just works well. And that's one of the problems with Avengers, in my opinion. I'm hammer fisting motherfuckers with a star made from the heart of a dying, like a hammer. I'm hammering dudes with a hammer built from the heart of a dying star or some shit at Thor. I'm comboing cops through the air. It takes like 3 or 4 hits of this thing. And I'm smashing dudes like 6 times with the Hulk, and they're not going down. And, if that were Batman, it'd make a little more sense.
When you, cut a person up in Witcher 3 and it takes like 3 hits?
Well, they're wearing armor,
the sword.
It's kind of like
it's the armor. Oh, okay.
They're wearing
yeah,
armor.
I'm not a fucking god that summons thunderstorms.
Oh, you're just a hater. I got it.
You're just a damage control.
He's not a god, okay?
I will damage control the shit out of that.
I know
game.
you will. You'll play for 3 minutes, and that'll be as long as I play it.
The Hulk lifted up a mountain,
3.5.
and you're telling me he can't smash one of these humans in this game with 1 hit? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. If they're gonna stay true to the, I get it, balance, blah blah blah, but there's ways to stay true to the character, put them in scenarios where maybe there's more enemies or there's tougher enemies, and I'm just not impressed by what I've played. I'm still gonna play it. It's a pandemic. What the fuck else did I do? I even pre-ordered Project Cars 3. I'm fucking bored. So
do you think the game is gonna be a hit, or be like
no? I think
Nope.
I think this game, a game that really targets Destiny audience combined. They're trying to do the best of both worlds, and when you don't have visible loot on your character, but you have skins for all these characters, you couldn't have taken parts of the skin and made it a visual add-on when you get a new upgrade. You just equip the highest number, and it don't even change the way you look. I think that the most alluring thing about something like Destiny, they don't even have in the game, and they're trying to get those people that play those types of games. And with the narrative side of things, even the narrative that I've experienced, you're seeing part of a cutscene right now, at least in the beta. And I think this is the actual cutscene. At least this cutscene is like a picture cutscene. And then they have other ones where it's like a mocap thing. I need more time with the game, but I am allowed to say if I'm impressed or not, or if I think it's going to be great or not. And
I'm
right
definitely
now,
not impressed.
Let me just add to it real quick. I actually liked the gameplay. I liked like the single player part, like the story part. When it got to like the Destiny like missions, like the events where the multiplayer, I wasn't really impressed with that. It was, I don't know, really repetitive.
Did you fight the big machine like boss at the end? That thing was savage. That was fun.
It depends on which. I don't know which level you did. I did the one in one of the cities. At the end, we were in some building, whatever. I didn't fight that. Oh, yeah.
It's outside. It's like an 8-legged fucking massive machine that you can climb and fight, and basically everybody's going around. It's fucking fun.
No, I haven't fought that guy. But like I said, it just got a little bit repetitive. Some of those, the characters in that, and I found it didn't look as good as like the story part, like the online part. I noticed a degradation in the graphics. I don't know if it's just me or it's just the environments just looked bland. I'm not sure, but the single player part I enjoyed. I don't know. I really got it pre-ordered, so I guess I'm pretty much stuck with it. But I think it'll do okay. I think it'll be it's updated over time.
How about that abomination fight? How cool was that?
Yeah, I saw people commenting in the chat about that boss fight. That was a boss fight? Exactly. There was nothing. There was nothing to that boss fight at all.
I remember I was fighting the abomination when I was talking to you in a party chat, dealer, and you're like, I think you're supposed to do something with that electricity or whatever. All I was doing was smashing the triangle button, the heavy attack over and over. That's all I was doing.
Oh my god!
And I killed him.
Miles, did you play this Avengers beta?
No, I honestly haven't played it. I honestly don't really have any interest in it. Looks fine. Looks graphically really cool, but
it's like a 15-year-old game wrapped in a 2020 coat of paint.
It's this weird blend of like old school quick time event mentality with like an action game and a games as a service title. I'll be curious to see how it's received when it drops. But from what I've seen so far, I don't have any interest in touching it.
Well, Miles has spoken, and
You're not missing much. You're not missing much. As soon as I went through the whole single player portion, I just deleted it. I was like, I'm done. And I didn't pre-order it. I played it on the PlayStation, the open beta.
What are your thoughts about this? Is also a rumor here. PS5's release date rumor is November 13th. And I don't know if that's when. I think the Xbox One came out on the 22nd of November 2013. Sony did come out a little earlier, I think, and they even halted the launch in Japan to get out in the States faster, to even amplify their already crazy snowballing, momentum. November 13th, as of right now, is the most recent PS5 release date rumor. And if they were to be Xbox out, what are your thoughts on this, Miles?
First off, do we really know where that date has come from? Do we have anything concrete we can point to for
It's
the
just
13th?
like the November 6th thing, I think. It's just...
Somebody looted another controller.
Oh, okay. Another Best Buy looted. Okay, perfect. Yep. That's how we're going to get all of our leaks in 2020.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I say it's a rumor. This ain't no leak. Yeah. This is a fucking rumor. Some guy on Twitter could have started this shit, but last I heard, it was sent to me by several people. So I figured it was worth talking about.
I've seen that one come from several people as well, but I haven't seen an actual source for it. I guess at the end of the day, does a week really matter if you're invested in one ecosystem versus another? If the PlayStation 5 comes out 1 week ahead of the Xbox, are you just not going to buy an Xbox?
I think you've already made up your mind by the time these consoles come out.
Yeah, like the whole fact that a week can really be a deciding factor for an entire generation to me seems a little bit strange. But yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think a week's going to matter on a personal level for 95% of people. I mean, there might be the 5% impatient and just wants a console, and they're just going to drop $500-600 on a console just based on what's in the store. But I don't think that's the majority of people at all.
I don't think you're thinking about, like, what if Bugsnax launches with PS5? Like, we're fucked.
Oh, yes.
Oh, definitely. Damn. Day one. Yeah.
No, but I mean,
I'll sell my kidney for Bugsnax.
All seriousness, though, Bugsnax is coming to Xbox, too. That's what I want you to, I want you to know that. Don't sell your kidney.
For either of these consoles coming out this year, the games I'm looking forward to are all third party. I'm not looking forward to any first party as of yet. I haven't seen anything that really blows my mind that's coming out with these consoles.
Yeah, there really isn't anything, and that's why I think Microsoft should shift gears and look, they got all these marketing people on salary, and I'm like, why are they on salary, really? Like, what are they marketing right now? Every day they should be marketing something different, right? So I think since Halo's not out and not coming out this year, they need to market what the box is going to do for the stuff you already own, and really start working with some third parties that are not afraid to fucking finally start showing off some games and show what the game's going to do on the new box. Like, holy fuck.
Cyberpunk, hint, hint.
Yeah, like the Batman game. Like, hopefully they have something for that. But Andre, by the way, Martinez, shout out to you, buddy. He says, love the podcast, safe haven for the Xbox fans out there. Greetings from Colombia, and hope Xbox Game Pass continues to deliver great games. Hey, shout out to you, brother. And we do agree. It's one of those things where Game Pass, for its very existence, I think they've got to keep putting out decent software, and they've said that publicly multiple times. So hopefully they do continue that trend. And again, shout out from Colombia. We get people from all over the world listening to the show. It's kind of crazy. I get messages from like Nigeria, and it's nuts, man. So thank you guys for the global support and stuff like that. Again, if you're watching this live, guys, we do appreciate it. 2,600 still here. Hit the like button if you haven't. Share us out. We do appreciate it. Tell a friend. Tell your grandma. Also, I guess anyone else got any thoughts on November 13th release date for PS5, possibly?
I just think that at this point, time's running out, so everybody's like, all right, November is the day, and then they're just picking weeks, and it doesn't matter. I think it's like, it really fucking doesn't. Like, it's going to be between November 6th and November 22nd or whatever the hell. Yeah. There you go. That's when the release dates are going to be. They're going to try to get it before, the Thanksgiving sales and all that and the holidays, and that's when the systems are going to come out. And the big thing for me is I want to know the price between them. That's what's the most competitive thing, the price, and I want to know more about, like, Sony's specs and stuff. And there you go.
I want to know that what that liquid metal's like.
I want to know a lot more about the RDNA 79.
It's from the future.
Somebody was saying in this chat that liquid metal is really risky to use because if it seeps out at all, it could damage components.
I just think of Terminator too. Every time
Yeah,
I hit liquid
exactly.
metal,
T2.
That's the only thing. Yeah, T2. That's all I think about is the Terminator guy.
That's why I
like,
showed him
chasing
my
you in
video
their car
yesterday.
car.
You know, it's just
I
it's
remember,
natural.
I remember looking at some patent that they had for their cooling. I believe it's going to be enclosed. From what I remember,
There's a
seeing.
tiny man in there running around the seal, just making sure that it doesn't leak out, right?
Yeah, but I don't. To be honest with you, I don't use liquid metal on building any rigs or on my personal rigs because if you get that in the wrong place, that's it. Your shit's fried, man.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So
Yeah. But hey, you know, maybe that's why their cooling apparatus is more expensive too, right? We will see. Prophet, by the way, says breaking news: Death Loop for PS5 has been delayed. I do not remember what that is.
yeah, I don't either.
That
Arcane's new project.
It's like it looks like the.
Oh yeah, I didn't give.
It looks like what's that damn game with the mask?
I mean, it looks like We Happy Few, and that's what it looks like.
70s
Dishonored.
assassins, like
It looks
trying
like
to kill each
Dishonored.
other.
Yeah,
Looks like
Oh,
Dishonored.
yes.
Yeah. So that was that a launch title?
Was anybody even really
Yeah.
looking forward to it?
It was supposed to be one of PS5's like timed exclusive launch titles. I mean, it looked cool enough. If you're an Arcane, a lot of like Dishonored fans were pretty high on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just for some reason, I mean, I just haven't been on Arcane's stuff. I mean, I like Parts of Prey, but for some reason, it's just something about those games. I just don't care about them a lot. Neon Shinobi says I'm
Yeah,
excited
Prey's-
for Ghost
Prey's
of
one of those
Tsushima
games.
Legends, which is a co-op mode, right? Get Fawn started on that. He loved that fucking game so
Hey,
much.
somebody
Wait
was
a-
talking about. Somebody was asking me a question. I'm sorry. They said, "Is liquid metal expensive?"
I know you can drink it.
Well, it's
That
more
answers.
Fucking hate you.
regular pace, but
D-Batch is he's got a cup with a string on it. Hang on, he's radioing in.
yeah, it's more. You can't hear me that good. Sorry.
Yeah. You got to melt. Obviously, it doesn't turn into more of a liquid until it heats up. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more expensive than traditional pace, obviously, but it's a better alternative than
crazy.
liquid cooling it, right? So
How much is it? I guess we could Amazon it.
yeah, I'll tell you how much.
You know, by the way, for that Ghost of Tsushima, I'm just really tired of Sony bringing out games as a service. I mean, come on, a multiplayer should have brought it out at launch. Way to release an incomplete game.
Shut up, Zocker. Just shut up.
Jesus.
No, don't talk about the game of the year like that, okay?
Oh,
The game was
God.
fire.
At Neil says, wait, the liquid metal thing was real. You didn't watch my last video, have you? You didn't watch
Yes,
it.
it's real.
Oh God, I had to, man, because people kept like, I don't know, man. You got to
Dude,
try a
what-
little bit.
It's like maybe $10 more than regular paste.
So for those out on satellite radio, D-Batch said $10 more than regular thermal paste. But you got to remember that's multiplied by the
We
amount
got
of
you.
units that they actually make. So if you're making 6 million units, that's $10 more per unit, right? So that's a lot of money to keep that clock speed in control or the heat under control. Shout out to Dominic, by the way, in the super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, any other takers on the 13th? Anybody give a fuck?
No,
Chat, let us know your
No.
thoughts.
It sounds right. 13th sounds about right.
Fawn says it sounds about right.
Friday the 13th.
Uh-oh. That's a good point, Tim.
Spooky.
Yeah. Liquid metal's we're gonna have that leakage problem like we did with the Xbox One in 2013. What the hell was that, by the way? Anybody ever find out why there was a weird leak? Was that some bullshit? You remember that? The Xbox One has some like stuff leaking out of it one time, and they reported on that after they reported on Kinect spying on you.
Yes, I do remember it. I think it was grilled cheese or something.
Grilled cheese.
Oh my god! Grilled
Remember when the
cheese?
PS4 Pro was burning?
Oh yeah, I remember all those
Yeah.
guys. All those
Yeah.
guys that said the PS4
yeah.
Pro was melting. That's so funny.
Or the cockroaches.
The guys that are big PlayStation fans were, obviously pushing for an obviously fake burnt PlayStation 4 Pro.
I got a
and saying
grilled
it was
cheese
real.
in my
I
Xbox.
didn't say anything about that.
Hey, shout out to Tryhard Fan. Hi, buddy.
They did videos about. Remember how bad it would look like somebody took a lighter and just
Yeah,
just kept it on the control.
What was that? That was 2016. Back then, I was saying, no, I don't believe this.
yeah.
I don't believe this. I mean, it would only benefit my channel, and more people would subscribe that like Xbox if I fucking lied like these guys did and ran with this
yeah.
melting PlayStation. But I don't believe it.
Only
was
the few
obvious.
desperate ones went with that one.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, I mean, if no one else got anything else to say about November release date for PS5, potentially, right? It's a rumor again, and that's why we clarify on all that stuff.
My sources tell me that these consoles will release in November, though.
My sources tell me I'm gonna be hungry after this show. That's basically.
My sources tell me I'm hungry now.
How's your last video going, Zucker?
You know, it's going well. It's doing okay. You know,
Zucker.
it's going well.
When
It's getting
doesn't it
debunked
for
left
Zucker?
and right, and I
Get
love
this
it.
man some haters.
Hell yeah! I just block everybody. I'm just like, oh, cool.
Bye bye.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, if no one else cares about this rumor here on the PS5 potential release date, I'll go ahead and move into Battletoads impressions. What I've played on it so far. Again, I guess we could do some. I'll make it quick. Fuck y'all. All right, so basically, Battletoads.
Banger.
Again, if you follow me on Twitter at @dealer_gaming, I posted a video where they sent me like a care package. It's a pretty cool little box. The box is the coolest thing about it. And I even said in the video, like, look, they know I'm not looking forward to this game. They still sent it, which is really cool. It's my first kind of media-esque type thing about a game. And when bigger games come out, I can only imagine I'll get some cooler stuff that I'll actually be more excited for. But the box is still really cool. Shout out to Fanny Packs. In that Fanny Pack, by the way, which I didn't know at the time, I didn't even open it until Colt told me what was in there, but there's a cassette tape that has the USB stick in it. And it has the soundtrack and stuff on there in case you want to be weird. And,
boy.
Shut up, Fonz. It also has some pins and stuff like that. And I guarantee you, if Fonz got one of these, he'd be like, "Oh wow, thanks,
I'd
X-Pax."
probably wear that fanny pack.
He would. He'd be wearing it on his head right now. But again, you know, I even mentioned in the video, like, look, there's no online multiplayer for the game right now. I think that's so stupid. Technically, the game's not ready, and I find that odd because Phil has said over and over, like, look, our teams have the time they need, and I'm like, okay, well, why are they patching in the online multiplayer after? Technically, are you not done with the game? Why not push it back a couple weeks, a month? What else is coming out? You know, that's what I would have done because me and Colt are instantly thinking, man, I would like to play this with somebody instantly. That's the first thing we think because I'm not sitting there chomping on this fucking, some food, some popcorn, watching the damn cutscenes enthralled. So I will say though, I'm surprised at the cutscene. There are actually like full on cutscenes in the game, and there's some kind of witty humor in there. Shout out to KOD, by the way, who is apparently a rapper. He's got 50,000 Twitter followers. He just messaged me.
Weird flex.
Oh, he sent me, it is, isn't it? Yeah, he sent me a video. Okay, he wanted my thoughts on it. Yeah, I didn't watch the video, man. I don't know if you're watching live, but appreciate the message. And check him out on Twitter. But yeah, Battletoads, it's got some full-on cutscenes. They got some pretty witty humor in there occasionally. So far that I've experienced. It's all hand-animated, kind of like Cuphead. With the exception of the driving level, which is like a hybrid. And, it's exactly what I kind of thought it would be. So it's not bad, but in my case, I'm not necessarily like, oh, this is amazing. I feel like the thing that got me through a lot of Streets of Rage was the co-op. And the only thing I keep thinking about is where there's no co-op here. And that's such a missed opportunity. I feel like they should have probably made sure that was there at launch. I would have much rather had that than maybe half of the cutscenes you have taken. I would rather have the effort in the co-op, but I understand this is a new studio, etc. I just think it's a missed opportunity. But if you're excited to play the game and that there's no online co-op, which again is a fucking L for the game in my opinion, then I would say from everything that I played right now, each of the Toads do handle differently, faster, slower, more powerful, less powerful. There's a dodge button. You'll be using that a lot. And it's just, I don't know. So far, it seems quality. There are collectibles. And I mean quality for its scale. Meaning it's not like, it seems complete, like complete. I was actually surprised by the writing and the voice acting in some of the cutscenes, right? But then they don't have the online co-op. So I'm just like, man, why? That's all I can really think about. But again, I would say if you're looking forward to playing this and you actually have somebody around you, it's a damn pandemic, and the only way you can play this shit is by having people come over and do some couch co-op. It's just a little weird. If you're aware of that and you can accept that, I would say don't really question much of the quality of kind of, if your expectations were where mine were, it is quality for its size, I'll say.
I'm going to come over and play.
No, right. Fonz, you're not allowed over. You know that.
Damn.
Not after that PS4 damage control and the controller thing, man. Sorry.
So what's your meta prediction?
Savage.
I would say, I'm just kidding, Buzz. I would say meta prediction, shit. I don't know. Probably with no online co-op, man, I would say low 70s. And who knows? It's Xbox. Who fucking knows? Maybe towards the back half of the game, there's no voice acting. I don't fucking know. I'm not far enough. I only had it for a few days, so I could have got it for review. I had it like a week ago or something, but I didn't want to review the game. So, again, you know, I just figured people were asking me what it was like and how it was, and I am just being honest. If you're expecting what I just said and those are your expectations without the fucking online co-op for some reason, then you might have some fun if you got some kids and stuff. So, again,
that's the last care package you're getting.
And that's the last, you know,
that's
but again,
awesome.
even in the
That's
thank
that
you
down.
message, I still pointed out this stuff, like even on Twitter and tagged Xbox. Like, if I ain't gonna lie to him, like it's a problem. So it should be
No,
there.
and that's why I appreciate you.
When's it
man.
launching?
The
Are
20th.
you an OG Battletoads
No,
fan?
the online.
For context.
Ooh,
Yeah, I remember liking Battletoads, but it's
really?
I feel like a lot of people like Battletoads.
Oh God. It was between me and my friends back in the day. We hated it. It was so hard. It was just fuck that game. We did not like
Someone
it.
isn't a real gamer.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! Come on.
Miles has
Back then,
5,000
you
gamer
didn't
score
have
talking shit.
99 lives in the game. You know,
Oh my
unless
god!
you had a game.
I
TV or
never beat
something.
the original Battletoads. I'll be
It was
honest.
tough.
I'm not gonna pretend like I did.
Confirm Fawn's not a real gamer.
Ohi. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he says, do people still rock fanny packs? Fuck no, they do not. That's kind of the funny part about it. So
I'm gonna back away from that.
yeah, I'm gonna send this to Fawn so he can up his game.
Yep,
But again,
definitely.
guys, that's kind of my Battletoads impressions. If you end up playing the game, it's in Game Pass, you know, so give it a try. And if you don't like certain things, be vocal about it. You know, they'll do better. They'll fucking learn from it, hopefully. You know, that's kind of the goal of the show. So let us know your thoughts if you played it, which I guess no one has really fucking played it. But when you do, and of course, on the topics and stuff like that, it's kind of the closing topic. Do appreciate it. Who's this motherfucker? Joe Sinister, dealer's a casual fraud. 140-some thousand gamer score. I think I'm fine. And I ain't playing them little indie games to get that shit either. A lot of these guys are fucking smashing little indie games to get gamer score.
Bitch ass ran.
Now, dealer plays games. Trust me.
There just ain't been no
He
damn
plays
games
all
to
the
play,
fucking
so
time.
that's kind of the problem. I ain't been shit since Doom Eternal. JCT Bean, he says, "Dear, love the channel, love all you guys. Question, Google will stop moving this. Question, will console streaming still be part of xCloud after Game Pass?"
Think so.
Yes. So they're going to add console streaming in eventually. Yes. So that the idea of that to have console streaming, or rather, wait, you said console streaming. I'm thinking
console streaming is still in the beta.
So
They're
he
still, like,
means
beta.
that
That's-
streaming
that's-
games from the console. Okay, I didn't know if you meant like to get xCloud on your console. That's coming too, but console streaming, yeah, that's definitely part of it. They want you to be able to use your own console as a local server instead of adding stress to their servers. That's the idea.
Yep.
So, and it might even reduce latency. I don't know. It depends on your connection. So, do appreciate it, brother. Seriously. But again, to everyone watching, thank you. 2400 still here. Listen to me talk about fucking Battletoads. Hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe. Hit the bell icon. Support everybody here. And we're gonna do some outros. And again, you guys rock and make us what we are. Tell a friend. Check out my last video if you haven't. Do appreciate it. D-Batch, how you been, buddy? What you been playing? Where can people find you?
I've been playing Avengers and fired up a little bit of Flight Simulator. Going to play it as soon as I get off the show. You guys can find me on Twitter at D_batch and of course at YouTube at DBatch. Check out my last two videos. I dropped some stuff on the Hot Chips event and of course the RDX 2 stuff. It was a great show. I'm excited for these next generation consoles. We need a freaking price on these consoles. I hope next week when we meet back here for RDX that we have a price for these next generation consoles.
James. Really, James? James Copeland. He says, when are you going to leave Xbox, dealer? Your channel is awesome. I'm not like, look, I'm just being me, man. I'm on console because I'm a console guy and I prefer one of those ecosystem over the other, but still really like the games that Sony put out. And that's why I reviewed them and given props where I think they're due and not where I think they're not. So, I think it's important. Competition is important, man. You don't want me to come to PlayStation because I'll wipe all them motherfuckers out. And then Xbox will have one less voice that is actually more vocal about the problems they have. So, again, I'm where I want to be.
That's facts.
So, and we have a ton of support over here anyway. So I've never once questioned any of that because I just do what I'm just being me. So, again, thanks for watching, James. Appreciate it. A lot of Sony guys watch the show, and we do get a lot of comments from Sony guys when we make Sony videos. Please make more Sony stuff. It's like, I made it because it's interesting, or somebody wanted me to talk about it. So Again, thanks. D-Batch, yeah, follow D-Batch. He's, what are you, 50 million subscribers now? Miles, you're our guest today, buddy, and thanks for coming on, man. I know some Dead Zones with some tech talk, but it's good to have you on. Miles, your producer of Windows Central, man. So tell people what you've been playing. Apparently, you've been playing more games than Fonz, and where people can find you.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. First off, it's awesome chatting with you guys about Xbox stuff. Yeah, I'm the kind of main video producer for the Windows Central gaming channel over on YouTube. Work with homie Jez Corden over there to kind of build something up.
Corden.
I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain 2 1.0 just dropped over on Steam, so I've been going hard on that with the crew. And yeah, mostly I'm on Twitter. If you want to talk Xbox or horror movies or whatever, just at Miles Dompierre is my handle over there. And yeah, that's about it from me.
Nice and simple. Psychonauts, by the way, he says, great show, RDX Plus. Did D play Grounded yet? I don't know if the fucking think D did play Grounded yet. He's crawling out the window right now. You see his little baby feet hanging out the window on the way out. He said, no, I ain't played it yet. But yeah, Miles, thanks again for coming on, man. We can have you on again. It's great coming on, man. You're a nice guy. And again, check out Windows Central on Twitter, their YouTube. You can find all that stuff through there. I'm going to tag Miles in my post-show tweet, and you can follow him there as well. You can link it all back. Fonz, what have you been playing, buddy? Where can people find you?
And sir, to your question earlier, or to your statement about him playing more games than me, hell, I've put more hours in Ghost of Tsushima than most people have in 5 games.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to hear it. So anyway, you can find me at The Grounded Gamer, where I put out videos weekly, and I have a video that I just put out this morning about Cyberpunk 2077 and what the developers are saying about this game, and there's some good new info there, so check it out. So
hey, Tim Dog, what have you been playing, buddy, and where can people find you?
I'm here. I just have it on because I don't want to have any. No, I actually been very busy at work and forced to work, so I've been not really gaming. I did play last night though, UFC 4.
Any good?
And I hate to say it, it's just. It's really just
it's trash.
A kind of it's a cash grab. I mean, if you have UFC 3, there's not much improvement. Yeah, they're doing a little bit things differently, but you know, I don't know. D, have you played the graphics? To me, I think 3 looks better than 4. Yeah. I don't know if I don't know what it is. It's I don't know if it's their
like blurry. It's trash.
Yeah, it's like mushy, right?
Yeah, I was not impressed. I thought the graphics would be stepped up, and to be honest, I think the 3 looks better.
Yeah.
So I was kind of disappointed in that. Maybe they went a little more with fluidity and stuff like that, which is
they certainly didn't, because I was watching that shit. It's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Like
yeah, I would say definitely wait on buying this. I mean, I usually buy EA stuff. But this kind of reeks of an end of the generation cash grab, and you know, other than that, just been very busy and haven't been really, you know, even on Twitter, I haven't been able to catch up. You know, people are screaming at me and stuff. I just have a little time to say Xbox is most powerful. It seems to get people riled up for 2 hours,
and they get triggered every time you do it too. Like they don't understand what you're doing, you know.
You know, it's just funny just to say. I remember me and Miles talking really like 5 years ago, and it's just great to see him doing what he's doing at Windows Central, and just to see the progression. You know, I remember literally 5 years ago him, and we would joke around and you know talk about stuff that was on Twitter, but just great to see, and hopefully keep it up, Miles.
Yeah, I was just a lad lurking on the Xbox Twitter for a while.
Watching Tim Dunn call people fuck faces 5 years ago.
Just enjoying those sweet Twitter interactions.
People evolve, they grow, and they learn how to call people fuckface in a much more creative way.
People are just so kind on Twitter. It's such a nice place to be.
We don't. Again, though, we don't take none of this
self-esteem.
None of this back and forth shit. We don't take it seriously. Like we're all humans, and you know, I feel like when people don't speak how they really do in real life on their show, it comes off weird to me. So again, we're just that group of guys. Miles, by the way, I made you a moderator, buddy. That way you're Nobody can fuck you in the chat and
Hey.
and all that stuff. By the way, I'll be on Wilmie's show tomorrow. I wanted to say that Wilmie Hood. Shout out to him. I'll be on Wilmie's show tomorrow, and should be good there with 47 other men, and we're going to talk about who knows what, maybe some VR. So,
47 other men.
Yeah.
no, seriously, I'll be on Wilmie's show tomorrow. Tune in there for sure. Nicholas, by the way, says have a good one, everyone. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Do appreciate it, brother. And of course, everyone in the chat, you guys rock. Hey, Zucker, buddy, what have you been playing? What kind of videos have you been debunked on, and where can people find you?
I've been playing a lot of games. One of them is how to get how many haters in your comment section. Just make a video that you know worked over the weekend and didn't see it get debunked, and release that bitch, and then leave it up. Leave it up.
And then
Do
be
that.
sure and leave the S and the PS5 lowercase.
That too.
Yeah, you did
So
that again.
what's the like to dislike ratio on that?
Who knows? But I tell you one thing, it's probably at like a couple hundred dislikes. But it's great.
Ooh, I'll add another to it. Thank you.
Do it, baby boo. Thanks, cool cat and kitten. But no, I've been playing a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima. Work's actually been killing me. Like Tim has been working a lot. I've been working a lot. So I played some Ghost of Tsushima, and I played Fall Guys. I bought that shit.
Oh,
and that game is stupid fun. Like I don't care. That game's dumb. It's a lot of fun. And then I've been playing a lot of Rocket League too with just friends and stuff. But you can find me on Twitter at Zalker87 and on YouTube Zalker87. 3 videos a week. And I have a lot of fun. Everybody in chat, you guys are awesome. And yeah, honestly, best chat in the world. Like you guys, honestly,
really
like I read it a lot. Like I actually pay attention to it, and you guys are funny as shit. So yeah, and Lethal, thanks for modding. Obi, you're a freaking fraud. There you go.
Yeah, you know what? Follow him. You too can see that he has over 425 dislikes right now. Now 426.
It's great.
Oh shit. Yeah, shout out to the mods, Lethal, Obi, Wilmy. Again, you know, I will be on Wilmy's show tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. And yeah, I wanted to say thanks to everyone in the chat, everyone who left a like, everyone who subscribed, everyone who supported the patrons. Link down below, by the way, if you want to become a channel member, hit the join button. And thanks for powering what we do. Colt should be back next week. I think a few people asked that on Twitter today, so he'll be back next week. And we will have the same old panel back. We might not have a guest next week. It might be nice, actually, since Colt's coming back. So, again, shout out to everyone who joined us.
I was inviting my mom to the show.
Really?
Yeah.
You know she's not allowed. She farts too much.
Okay.
So, again, we're...
How do you think he was born?
No need to go this hard right now.
Whoa,
Yeah.
what happened? What
You
do?
sucker.
It's not necessary. Fonz has had a rough day.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
You know that. You know he's had a rough day. So,
I know. I'm
I
sorry.
had a
Fawn.
great day, man. This show has been awesome.
all right. Yeah.
Awesome.
A great panel. Great guest, Miles. Thanks for coming on, buddy. And, of course, we will see you guys on the next RDX. Look out for my next video. Should be Thursday, somewhere around there. I'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.
The off button.
Zucker's a fraud.